Hey guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to talk to you about behavior change. I have a lot of clients come to me obviously looking to change their behaviors. They want to improve their lives, they want to reach their health and fitness goals, they want to understand how to make healthy habits that naturally and automatically support them towards their goals. And most of the time they just don't know where to start. But I think it's really important to understand why we actually change our behaviors and the different stages of behavior change in order to understand the process. It's great to have a coach. I highly recommend having one. I've worked with several coaches in my life, and I would not be where I am without some excellent coaching and without the skills and the knowledge that they were able to share with me to elevate myself as an athlete. But as an athlete or as a person, I think it's your responsibility to understand the stages of behavior change, understand your role in each stage, what you can do to progress to the next stage, and even some of the things that might hold you back from reaching the next stage. Once you understand that there is a process of changing behavior, that it isn't just about willpower, that it isn't just some magical fantasy, that it isn't for some people, but maybe not for me because I've tried before and I haven't been able to make changes, or I've made changes, but I haven't been able to sustain them, or I find myself falling back into old patterns. When you can step back and objectively say, there is a process for this, I just didn't know what it looked like and I was never able to identify where I was in the process. It helps you really dig in and implement strategies in order to break past your current level, advance to the next level, and make changes that you're able to sustain long term. So there are 5 stages to behavior change. This is called the trans-theoretical model of behavior change, and it was developed in 1977. And I think it's a really cool way to look at the whole process of behavior change and to understand what actions we can implement in and between each stage to ensure that you have continued progress long term. So let's get into it. Stage number 1, pre-contemplation. So in this stage, you're not really aware that there's a problem. This is usually the stage before people come to me as a coach. This is when you're just going through the daily motions. You kind of have a routine. It may or may not be serving what you imagine are your long-term goals, but you don't really recognize that. You don't really know that there's a problem with your behavior. It takes usually some kind of internal shift or a massive life event that uproots you, or even some external influence such as hearing someone else's story that then inspires some change in yourself, or being told that what you're doing is wrong, for you to even be aware that there's a problem and be able to move into the next stage. So at that first stage, pre-contemplation, the keys are to create awareness and to change your values and belief. Only then can you proceed to the next stage. Stage number 2, contemplation. So we've injected awareness and we've changed your values and beliefs. Now you're aware that there is a problem. You're aware that your behavior isn't in alignment with what you truly want. So you're in the contemplation stage. In this stage, you're aware of a problem and you're aware that there is a desired behavior change. Now you need support and you need information. This is the place where people come to me as a coach and they go, hey, I want this. Here's where I am. What I'm doing is keeping me here. Can you get me here? What do I even do to get there? During this stage, you're preparing. You're recognizing that your behavior is problematic, and you're understanding the cons and pros of continuing your current behavior. Usually at that point, you're recognizing the cons outweigh the pros. At this stage, it's vital that we persuade and motivate. We need to propel that forward momentum by saying, you are right. Your current behavior is not serving you right now. It's not taking you towards your goals. And we need to keep that momentum. We need to really clarify a vision, and we need to keep this fire burning so that you're able to stay focused on the goals that you have and understand that behavior change is truly required in order to continue progressing towards your long-term goals. Stage 3, preparation. So this is also where people come to me as a coach. This is the stage where you recognize that there's a problem. You recognize that what you're doing now isn't serving you, recognizing that you need a behavior change. You're kind of planning how you're going to make that change, and you're gathering the confidence to do so. You're saying, okay, this doesn't seem so unrealistic now. Maybe I can lose weight. Maybe I can build muscle. Maybe that is possible for me. Maybe I could start watching people training on YouTube. Maybe I could start watching shows on YouTube so I could see what it's like to compete. Maybe I could watch some videos on training, or watch some motivational videos of athletes that I really am inspired by. Maybe I could start reading books about training, or researching nutrition, or looking at different diet plans that are available out there. Here is when we inject education. All of that excitement and anticipation of change, that is when you're motivated enough to really soak up the education that you need to understand what it's going to take to make the behavior change. At that point, as a coach, I really like to educate people on not only what changes we're going to make, but why. If you understand the why, you can bear almost any how. You have to understand why you're doing what you're doing to understand the implications of why you want to make these changes, and why you don't want to continue with the behavior that you were doing before, as it doesn't serve you. Stage number 4, we move into action. So this is where the rubber meets the road. This is when you start to put those positive steps into motion. This is when you take everything that you've learned and start to implement a plan. This is where I step in with people as a coach and say, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Here's where we're gonna start with training. Here's where we're gonna start with nutrition, and we're gonna take it one day at a time. If you're doing this on your own, this is when you take everything that you've learned and you sit down and you write a structure. This is step 1 of how I'm going to implement change. This is not, all right, this is my be-all end-all plan for the next year. A lot of people do that, but then they get burned out when they realize certain parts of it don't work, don't align with their life, don't allow them the flexibility that they need, don't allow for any room for error. So this is an important step, because it's just creating a blueprint for success so that you know where to start, what to do, but it needs to be flexible over time so you understand that you can make changes. And that is an important step in this process, is facilitating action. Facilitating action doesn't just mean putting a plan on paper. It means, how do we structure your environment? How do we create a support system? How do we implement daily check-ins to keep you in alignment with your goals and keep these actions moving forward until they become automatic habits? This is when you are making intentional decisions every single day to work towards your goals, but it's important that your day is structured in a way that allows you to continue to progress towards those goals. If you structure your life to support your goals, then you can move to the last and final stage, maintenance. So stage number 5 is maintenance. That is achieving results and the behavior is ingrained into your daily life. This is habit building. This is where you have a routine and you're putting it into place, and we already know that it's supportive of your goals because we've kind of worked through the kinks of it. We've facilitated action by structuring your life to support your behavior, and now you're gaining momentum and you're maintaining it because you have these habits established. This is where people fall off in between these two stages. They have the action, they know it's working, and then something happens, and no longer are we facilitating the action in order to maintain the long-term execution of these behaviors. This is a circle. This is a circle because we continually go through this process of fine-tuning our behaviors, and there are different areas of our life that we're going to be focused on one time over another. So it may be fitness at first, it may be that may be exercise at first, then it may be nutrition, or it may be with your relationship, or it may be with maintaining a clean household, or it may be something in your business like creating a new division. Or establishing habits within a new division. So understanding that this is a circle is important because after you maintain those actions over a long period of time, it's important to check in with yourself and say, okay, I can reinforce changes now. I'm checking in with myself. I'm giving myself reminders to continue these behaviors, but the check-ins are what allow me to fine-tune the behavior over time to make sure it's still in alignment with my greater goal. So before all of this, I think it's really important to understand and really zone into what are your goals, or what is your goal or outcome in this one area. Without that, it's impossible to accurately measure whether or not these behaviors are supporting your goal. So identifying that first, then you can see where you are in this circle and implement the action steps along the edges necessary to push you into the next stage. So now that we've talked a little bit about behavior change, I thought I would give you a bonus. I want to show you my favorite nighttime snack. This is more of a meal than a snack, but I personally have a sweet tooth. I like to have a sweet meal at night. If it were my ultimate go-to, it'd be ice cream, but doesn't always settle with my stomach super well. So my next favorite option is oats. So I love to do a sweet bowl of oatmeal, and I'm going to show you how I make it. Please like, subscribe, be sure to comment below. I've just announced the launch of my new self-coach program. I'm only accepting 5 clients for this. This is going to be a really intensive program. You can apply now up until August 25th for a September 1st start date. It's going to be a 12-week program. We're going to have one-on-one calls twice a week, you and me, and we're going to uproot your behaviors, really dive into this circle of behavior change and kickstart you towards your goals. So be sure to sign up for that. The link to apply will be in the description below. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching and enjoy the amazing dessert I'm about to share with you.